All right. Should have Afreilichen Tinus Esther should be transformed into a joyful one. Okay, welcome, folks. Continuing the mimer. I'm going to play at one point the mimer from the Rebbe. There's a recording from it. Um, which is be very interesting. Okay. These words from Shir Hashirim, from the Song of Songs of King Solomon, that we're quoting, right? Called Daidi, the voice of my beloved, is knocking peacefully, which is a metaphor of the divine soul. Metaphor of the divine soul. Sorry, that is part of the soul that knocks within us, says peacefully, open up for me. Achaisi, a relationship with God that He's Achaisi, my sister, Rayasi, my friend, Yainasi, Arabadov, Tamasi, my pure one, as we spoke about. So this is a statement of relationship between God and Knesset Israel, the font of the Jewish souls, in a time that the Jewish people are Yeshene Begalusa, are asleep, in exile, asleep. Soul is asleep. The soul is the person's asleep, but the heart is open. As we explained. Now, in the metaphor of Song of Songs, so it says that the soul the person is right. The person is crying out to God and saying, "Peshatati es taiti echa al b'shena." I've already taken off my clothes. How could I get dressed again? What does that mean in the metaphor? So the Medrash says that the clothing is referring to the clothing of the Kohen, of the priest in his service of God. So we just learned so we just learned last week, right, on Shabbos, we read Parshas Tetzaveh that speaks about the clothing of the high priest and of regular priest, Kohen. And also the clothing of royalty, which these clothings are a mitzvah, right? The clothing that the Kohen wears for doing divine service is a command, a commandment what to wear. Clothing, regular clothing that we wear, there's no command, specific command to wear, to wear something specifically. Excuse me. But the Kohen and the king, they have specific commands and things that they need to wear. So remember, this is all a metaphor. Very important. The story of Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs, right, is a story of a young maiden and her pursuer. So the young maiden is the divine soul, and the pursuer is God. That's a metaphor. So the soul is saying, she's saying that it's nighttime, it's godless, it's exile, and a very deep one. So deep that they're entertaining other gods. In our day, the god of materialism, the god of money, the god of fame, right? Or just the god of this feeling independent of God. Right? That's a real exile of the animal soul in the body. That's called being asleep because the divine soul is not in control. When you're asleep, there's an equality between the head, heart, and the rest of the body. When you're awake, the head is on top, your mind, your heart, and your you know your arms, your feet. There's a hierarchy. There's the mind has dominion over the heart. That's the idea of being awake. Exile, meaning when the presence of God is impalpable and real, we're asleep. Sleeping means you don't see. What don't you see? Well, when you're awake, you can lift up your head and see the heavens. And you could see who created. Who created heaven and earth? Right? It's clear. When you're asleep, you don't hear. You don't understand. Right? Someone's talking and you're asleep. You don't understand. I mean, unless they wake you up, of course. You don't understand. You don't have an understanding. You're not able to have the mind having dominion over the heart in a natural state. That's not the natural state. So we're missing all the powers that that would enable us to see godliness, to hear godliness, and to such a degree that I've taken off my mitzvah clothing. In other words, it's removed me from doing mitzvahs. I'm not even wearing my mitzvah clothing. In other words, when the person makes a claim to God Almighty, even how can he even put on such clothing, such holy clothing? I'm not accustomed to it. It's not my lifestyle. I'm not accustomed to it. I don't know how to return to the path of Torah and mitzvahs. Um, right. It's a fast day today. We're going to have the classes afterwards. Um, but now I have to end. Um, so we'll continue. The Chumash and Rashi is going to be late because extra slichas. So it'll be closer to 9.